Well, here we are. This is the motherboard. Well, one heatsink which has been removed is this one. Painful experience. You can see the heat pipe system with some homemade brackets that I've made here. The reason for that is because the reason I use the homemade brackets is because if you look at this heatsink here, which I've replaced as well and used here, originally came with two brackets. It was based around a loop system hooking into these loops here that are off the motherboard. The chip's quite small in the center, so what I've needed to do is to utilize these brackets to get a really stable contact point. CPU is in situ, just put in now, hard stopping experience. And then the more difficult one, there was a heatsink here, which sits over a bunch of chips that lie underneath there that are associated with the power supply that come in through this 8-pin connector here, I guess. And that's the second generation heatsink. Which I've made, which will have a bolt on here for the heat pipes. The first generation was there was a problem with the actual board the location of the chips is not 100% flat, even although the bottom of this was flat. So I've had to get some, rather than using grease, thermal grease, I've used thermal tape, which is 0.3 millimeters thick, which should be enough to be able to make contact with all of the chips. Which, I don't think you can even see them. You can just see the bottom of them a little bit. There, anyway, so, well, that's where we are. Basically, warranty void. Hopefully no disasters, but I have, well, there'll be a big block will be mounted here for the heatsink, but 1, 2, 3, 4 heat pipe based heat sinks. Of course, new orientation. This bracket holds the heatsink for the CPU in place, and I now realise that this is going to crash in here, and so I need to, you can see I've marked it up there with pen. I'm going to cut away part of that in order to be able to free up enough space to be able to mount the CPU. Well, that's enough for the time being for this one.